Hello, my name is Daniela, and for today I would be discussing my CCR, and I'll be giving you a proper insight into the making of me and my partner's film, Midnight Chase, under CD Productions. So, the first topic or the first question would be: how does our product use or challenge the conventions of media, and how does it represent social groups or issues? So, our film is based on a subgenre of horror. It is a horror film based on the genre of found footage. It is a genre that is based on inefficient or crude, or rather said raw footage that it has little to no editing of any form. The our film is based on the storyline of a bunch of young siblings and teenagers who end up getting caught or killed by a mysterious entity through social media. The way that this touches into social groups is that it goes on and discusses topics such as internet safety, and it resonates with teenage to young adults as they are the group that most digests social media and its content. The way that we were able to captivate a proper storyline within our work is that we use different aspects of mise en scene, such as dark lights and questionable camera quality, as well as diegetic and synchronous sounds, to properly engage and immerse audiences in our film due to the lack of actual proper and authentic editing it would have. So, how does our product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real media text in real time? Our film has a suspenseful and rather authentic nature that clicks in to its found footage aspect of raw footage. So, the way that this would most likely challenge media conventions is that it's again very unedited. It lacks a lot of polishing. It is seen as raw. It could be seen as something that most people can do any time of any day. However, this form of filming can easily work in favor of marketing and campaigning, as it can be seen as a fresher or newer product in media compared to more traditional horror films today, which have a lot of fancy editing, effects. It can be seen as more raw, natural, and maybe even refreshing. For our film to be distributed into the public, it will most likely be released on Hulu, Netflix, which are basic streaming platforms. They are primarily known for their horror selection, especially Hulu. Hulu is very popular with the age group that we tend to capture, and Netflix can easily touch into that more younger teen audience that our film targets. And it would also most likely be produced in cinema, specifically AMC theaters and Cinemark, which are known to produce a lot of not produce but display and distribute a lot of horror films. However, it is important to note that our film's current level of production is not the highest, so in a real world scenario, would it would most likely be released on YouTube. This form of distribution actually goes hand in hand with its found footage aspect. The reason why is because YouTube is not only a streaming platform but also a social media platform. It is like a hybrid of both, which can easily work in favor because a lot of lost footage nowadays is more in tune with social media. It can be seen as lost footage on social media. So this can easily work in favor of the film's marketing and distribution. So, how did our production skills, specifically mine, develop throughout the making of this project? So, my skills, basic skills such as editing and filming, improve. Obviously, basic editing like trimming, sound, layering, effects, all that improve. However, they aren't the most complex, noting the genre of this film. I was able to obviously improve my trimming skills, how to properly time film, but besides that, my skills mainly remain the same because I do have past editing experience. However, it is important to know that my filming skills did improve drastically. For example, in this image here, we can see a scene in the film, which is where the siblings are going down the stairs. This tunes to a more improved form of filming, as typically in past projects in this class, my filming has been very limited to two shots, long shots, close up shots, basic shots that aren't as complex or eye catching to the audience. So we were able to break away from this, and especially to the found footage aspect of our film, by using aerial shots. Typically, this would be trickier in other scenarios because it has a crane and it has lots of movement. However, we were able to make it more natural, more organic to our film by having my partner, or in the story character Brienne, take footage or recording of her siblings over the staircase. We were able to capture an aerial shot as well as handheld movement for this clip. So, the last question would be, how do we integrate technologies, software, hardware, and any form of online tools into this project? So, as you can see here, we obviously use WeVideo and CapCut. I would like to note that WeVideo was provided to us by my school, by my class. My teacher provided us with WeVideo as a basic editing tool and as a basic step platform that we could use. Um, WeVideo compared to CapCut, we use both of them because they had different forms of tools, different forms of filming. WeVideo is easier to use platform. It's more watered down. It's obviously targeted to students, as it's really easy to use. However, it is very limited to tools. CapCut, however, is more complex, maybe trickier, but it gives you more tools to use. So we use WeVideo for basic trimming, sound editing, and other basic forms of polishing our product. However, CapCut was used for the final scene, which is where the screen glitches and everything cuts away. We did that by recording a still image of one of the clips and layering a bunch of effects over it. So overall, we were able to explore outside our comfort zone. We were able to experiment with a genre that is a little trickier to experiment with, to use in a lot of media conventions today. And with that, we were able to create a product which is more unique and stands out from its genre of horror.